Hey guys, it's Simon with Trade and Perform Coaching. Wanted to go over a specific setup, um, and particularly for the members in the room who are using the software, so that you know exactly what your entries and your exits look like, right? So this is a short video, and I'm going to highlight a very specific entry, guys, that you should be hunting down and looking for, and I'm going to show it to you right now. So if you will look, the specific sequence comes is you will see a either an up or down triangle. So I'm going to start right over here at 832. You'll see a up triangle. So for those who are unfamiliar, each of these have identifications. So this is an up triangle followed by a speed bar. So when you get this pairing or the opposite, down triangle, uh, followed by well, actually, doesn't even have to be a speed bar; it just has to have an algo on it of some sort. So the green diamond, the yellow diamond, right underneath. So for those who aren't familiar, that's telling me that that bar has a particular type of energy in it, and that it generally will mark an area of potential reversal. Not always perfect, but pretty close to getting you spot on, and generally giving you about a 1 bar stop. I mean, we're using a 12-point stop here, so I'm going to kind of go through and lay out what that would have looked like today had you been using that, right? So um, here we go. Let's kind of get started. So if you had been watching this morning, you would have seen this. I'm going to give you the pairings and kind of go through the setups for today. Wasn't a great day of trading because of the trend day up, but pre-market was actually pretty good, and the first half hour was okay. Again, I'm using this for demonstration purposes. I don't necessarily trade. Actually, I don't trade 8:30 to 9 o'clock in the morning. So let me give you an area where I would have been trading, like here at 6:30 a.m. That's the place I would be trading. I just don't trade the first half hour of the regular trading session, right? And before we get started, just really quick, in case you're interested in checking out the room and would like a 3-day pass, I'm going to flash up the email address up here for you real quick. And it is Trade and Perform, TradenPerform @gmail.com. So the point of the algo is to make it easier for you to make quick trading decisions. That's all there is to it, right? So if you'll look, guys, and of course the members in the room will be watching this. So what we're looking for is an up triangle followed by a bar with an algo. It can either be, guys, it can just be a simple, if it's down, a yellow diamond, up, it's a green diamond, and or the speed bars, which are the blue and yellow bars here, right? So if you look, you'll see we're extending up, 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 up. We get the up triangle. It's followed by an algo bar immediately, which turns into a power bar. And you can see here, so the stop would have been 12 points, right? So if you look, the entry would have been 15,111. The stop would have been, let's see, 11. So that's 21 plus two more. Let's just call it 2350. That's the stop. And so remember, there's two important components to the trade: getting to the 1-to-1 or better risk reward, preferably 2-to-1, but 1-to-1 risk reward, right? So you'll see the 15,111, and then you'll see that that was able to generate a maximum favorable excursion on this first push down to 15,079. So that's effectively 31 points, right? So you risk 12, you got 31. That's about a 3-to-1 risk reward. That's exactly the type of trade that we're looking for, right? And if you'll look as you follow along there, you will see that the next setup, right? So we're pretty much approaching this as a scalp, as opposed to trying to make this more complex and find a larger trade. But if you will look, and again, this is mostly, it applies to ES. I haven't quite found the right size on the ES bar. Certainly applies to the NQ. It works very effectively in NQ, and it works very effectively on the Russell actually as well. So you will see here that, again, as we're coming through, um, if you had gone long here, so realistically, this would have been a stop. So remember, over here, you made about 30 points, hypothetically. Here, you lost 12 points, so you're about 18. And again, I'm assuming that you would have a bias using the charts and that we're looking for a particular direction one way or the other. on these trades, right? So you would have triangle up. There's the bar with the algo on it. Again, you're going to have 12 points worth of risk. Your entry is going to be 89. So the first question is, can you get to one-to-one risk reward? So 89 brings up 79 plus 77. So 77, that's your one-to-one risk reward. And then your maximum favorable excursion on this trade before it kind of gave any type of turn was 15,051. Give me just a second. I'm doing a little trading here in the evening. I just need to pull that down, take a couple points, and make sure everything's all kosher there. And it is. That's really lovely. And so if we keep going, right, I'm just going to keep kind of scrolling through here. So that was 8 a.m. You're going to see 8:30. So I don't usually trade. Actually, I don't trade that 8:30 to 9 o'clock space. It's just too fast and too volatile. So you can see that we've already kind of gone into this trend day up. So what would the entry look like on the algo once you're already in trend day up? So number one, let me tell everyone I suck at trend day up. I'm just terrible at it. It's not my strong suit. So, but that doesn't mean I can't teach you how to take those trend day up trades. So here's 9 o'clock. You can already see all the rotations have been eliminated. So the first thing you're going to notice that's really cool, and it really helped us in the room, is there are no, let me erase that little trick. There are no setups where we get the triangle up followed by the algo on the way up that are literally right next to each other. There we go. So as you look, as you're pushing into 10 o'clock, 10:30, the signal just doesn't trigger. You don't get a combination of an up triangle followed immediately by an algo, right? It skips a bar, it skips two bars, and that's cool. That tells you that there's nothing to trade in that particular scenario, right? So next, right, the way you would have gotten long if you had been trading a little bit earlier is what you would have looked for would have been right here at 9:40. So see I'm pointing right here. Let's see if I down triangle. Again, the algo fires on this bar. And again, your risk is 12 points. And you can see you clearly picked up another 20 or 30 points. Here was another entry right here to the long side. Here's another entry to the long side, not quite as good, an RR in that particular case. And then you can see it just kept pushing all the way through. So on trend day up, you can use that triangle down followed by an algo. And guys in the room, you'll recognize that in some cases, it doesn't have to be the green algo only. It could also be the no supply, no demand bars, or it can be the speed bars are just as efficient in getting the trade to the for the continuation. And I do want to jump over real quick and show you what this would look like on a day where we would normally have two-sided trade, right? So again, I want to focus on primarily on the US session, but this is going back to Friday the 8th, 10/8, and I'm just picking it randomly. I just want to get out of 10 a.m. Is all I'm trying to do. And you can see it was quite volatile in this time frame, right? So remember, if you're getting a trade and you're getting 1-to-1 to 2-to-1, and you're maintaining a 1.5 to 1.78 RR on your trade, you're doing really well in your trading, right? I want to reiterate that and remind everyone of that. You're doing really well in your trading if you're getting a 2-to-1 RR in your trading. So as we're scanning along, right, we're looking. So in the room, we always have an idea of which way we want to trade. So I can already tell you which way my bias would be on this trade. So I can already say, let's see, this was the push to the low. We haven't gotten above the push to the low, but realistically, because we came down and we pushed, I'm probably looking long here. This is a 50-60. This is actually the push to the low here. And once I get above this push to the low, which would have been right here, I'm definitely looking for the long opportunity once I get above. So from the aggressive side, as we've pushed down, right? If you're trading in this, well, let's just get started at 9 o'clock, right? So if you'll look here, you'll see that this actually, just looking at the signal without directional bias, this would have been your first entry right here at 1484.25. So we just march off 12 points and see where we end up. Does that trade survive far enough to get any kind of reasonable rotation to the downside, right? So 80, and you can see it's still quite volatile at 9 o'clock, right? So 84 brings up 94, and then we're going to add 2 more points. So it's going to bring us up to 96. And that may have survived or may not have survived to the tick, right? Let's assume that stopped because it's close enough. Don't worry. We're going to keep going through there, right? So let's say you start off the day and that's your first trade. You're minus 12. So nothing sets up over here. So then we're going to roll right over here, right? Again, the point is letting the algo do the heavy lifting for you, right? So we're going to come right over here, down triangle. There's the bar with the green diamond. It's so easy to use, right? You can really narrow your decision-making process more and more to a point of where you're making good decisions consistently. That's the point of the algo, right? So clearly in this case, it comes nowhere close to a stop. The maximum favorable excursion on that, your entry would have been roughly 14,873. Looks like the best you would have been able to do would have been about 1410, but that's roughly 30 points, right? That's $600 a contract if you're trading the regular contract. $60 a contract if you're trading the micros, right? So that's a good trade. You know, you can make a living off of that, and you'll see again, it fires up right over here. Once again, looks like this time you're going to make about 20 points, right? And you'll see the shorts just aren't setting up. Now, there's other trades in here, but the reason I'm pointing this out is because this is a very specific trade that repeats over and over again in the NASDAQ and in the Russell that you can pick up a quick 10, 15, 20, 30 points. That's $200 to $600, and it lets you accomplish your financial goals that you're trying to do with your trading, and it doesn't require you to be overly leveraged to make the money, right? To me, that's really important. So as we're going through here, again, I don't mind finding the stops or the losses. So we're going to see that we came down here. This is your next entry, right? Notice that there's no combo where the two bars where you get a down arrow and an up bar or down bar side by side, right? Actually, technically, had you taken this for a guys in the room, this would have been a stop, so you can take away 12 points, right? This would have been a long. Again, we're looking at whether we would have had a bias or not a bias based on location, etc., etc. And yeah, that would have been your long. You clearly got paid there. This is your next short right here. It clearly got paid. This got paid, but it depended on how you scaled it, right? It didn't get paid very much. I would count that as a minus 12. There's no way I would have held on to that trade. And actually, it may not have been a minus 12 because you got it flipped back the other way to the downside. And remember, usually in the room, we're pushing a scenario or a bias one way or the other. And I'm just gonna check to make sure I've got everything working right here. And I do. Interesting. So I had to cover short there real quick. Um, so we're looking for very specific patterns, and this one pattern just simply repeats over and over and over again and pays really well. Again, I can jump up to almost anywhere on the screen and look for the setup. I'll find it here at 12:15. Again, great risk reward, right? I find it again right here at 11:31. Great risk reward. Again, right here. Great risk reward, right? There are some stops, but the whole key to this is the risk reward can run anywhere from 2 or 3 to 1. Now I want to show you the same trade on the Russell. Let's see what I do with the Russell. Might this be it? No, I have it hiding here somewhere, guys. Hold on one second. There's the Russell. And let me see. And what we're going to do is we're going to I have it on a higher time frame. We're going to knock that down to 6 seconds. And so this needs a little bit of work, but you can see here, and of course, at the end of the day, the Russell gets pretty sloppy. But at the beginning of the day, if you will look, I'm going to push it back far enough to find it. I have the wrong size. It's just not showing up here on the Russell. It shows up right here at 849 and obviously paid very nicely right in this combo. Again, guys in the room, I've just been playing with the Russell. There's some really good trades inside of the Russell, but I just don't have the formula quite set up to get all the pieces ticking all at the same time where they're giving us these terms, right? You'll recognize this is an alternative setup right here with the no demand followed by the algo, which is a different trade than what I'm talking about tonight. I'm going to try one more time here and see if I can get it to fire on the Russell at one time. Let's see, downside, I was really hoping that it was going to show us the longs. This would be short here. Again, you get paid pretty nicely. The longs just aren't firing with the way I have the formula right now. So I may have to play with that a little bit. You'll see here, it did not set up. You would have had to take a stutter step. You got a down arrow. You would have had to go with the up arrow for the long right there at 841. You would have gotten paid pretty handsomely, but it's still not firing quite the way I want it to. So I still have a little bit of fine tuning to go. I definitely have it right within the context of NQ. And then the other way to go, again, when I'm adjusting this and trying to find exactly the right formula, sometimes it can be, hey, go higher and see what that ends up delivering in terms of the performance. Oh, and there you see it. So let's see if that kind of straightened it up here real quick. So you can see, but see the bar is too big, and that's why it's not going to work. It actually sets up here long, right? So I'm going to have to find a combo that works for us because even though the trade worked here, um, maybe it was just a day where we were just trend up and flat, but it should be setting up with a greater regularity than what it is. It's just not firing. Other algos are firing in there. Like there's again no demand along with the diamond on top. It launched you just beautifully to the upside there late in the day and then into Europe. Um, let's see if it's set up short over here anywhere. I just don't have the right number on this, but I will get it, guys. I will knock this around until I get maybe it's 11. It's close. It's somewhere in here formula wise. Like this would have been a long right here at 928. This is a short here. This doesn't set up. This sets up long, right? So in each product, and again, I've been playing with the Russell. In each product, it's going to have, that's definitely a short right there. But it's because it's two algos that are firing, right? And it's given us very specific location as to where to trade. But all the pieces have to come together at one time to make it a positive fit. Again, no demand followed by the engulfing bar gives a beautiful trade Beautiful, beautiful trade to the upside. So we just have to go and grab it one piece at a time and make sure that we're getting the right trade-off. So right now it's working better in NQ. I will have Russell dialed in. And then the last one I wanted to show you was on ES. Not going to use today on ES because it's pretty much had no rotations. I'm going to go back to where there's a little bit more volatility. Let's just drop back to Thursday. And again, you'll see when that combo of bars shows up, again, you'll see the down triangle here, followed by the speed bar. Off it pushes to the upside. When you see, here's another example, triangle up followed by the speed bar, beautiful push to the downside. That one, I know that it works on ES. I've already seen enough examples. Again, triangle up followed by speed bar, beautiful roll to the downside, right? And you'll see the nice thing is it just really doesn't set up. This was set up as a long, and even this is 7 points to the upside on ES. It's totally, totally, totally tradable. So at any rate, if y'all would like to see what we do in the room and you'd like to learn more about the algo, it's really powerful. It helps us make a lot of money. If you're serious and you want to make money and you're serious about trading and you have the ability to follow a process or want to learn how to follow a process, send me an email. Again, I'm going to flash this up one more time, shamelessly promoting my room. I know that's terrible. Let me see if I can find it here real quick. Again, my name is Simon. I'm a tradingperform at gmail.com. And there's not a lot of hype, right? There's a lot of good work, a lot of really great trades that can be captured. We're not scalping per se 2 or 3 ticks. We are day traders for 5 to 30, 40 points on NQ, 4 to 6 points on ES, and we are working Russell into the mix and CL. However, this particular setup does not work in CL. So guys, wanted to bring that setup to your attention in the room. If y'all watch it in the morning, y'all have any questions, hit me up. But it's just another great setup amongst the many setups that the software offers. And obviously very focused on getting the RR and the low risk entry. So have a great night, guys, and I will talk to y'all later. Goodbye.